Sit in any chair you want.
All right.
You ready?
Now, this is where our chief executive officer sits. So he is the CAO, County Administrative Officer. Yeah, you're the lawyer. Come up there. Yeah, they're up back here. Mr. Wheeler? You're not lawyers now.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Right here.
Yo, you got your own computer? Huh? Do you have volume yet? Supervisor Wheeler, this is
Yeah, no, it's not.
Check 1 2 1 1 1.
Can I be?
What you want to do is pick up the gavel, and you bang it a couple of
Wait,
times.
I think that would. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Where's the camera?
This is Jacob Stone. Hello. Hello. This meeting of the Madera County Board of Supervisors is now called to order.
Gotta hold that button to actually count.
Who's doing the invocation, you know? I guess I'll do the invocation. Okay, so we'll ask David Rogers to do the invocation.
David Rogers, please do the invocation.
Okay, you pick somebody.
Tortino's Pizza Rolls.
Pick anybody you want.
Will someone volunteer for the to start for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Looking for a volunteer, somebody raise your hand. There we go. Good, she's great. So let's stand. And at this point, we'll be very serious because these are serious items that we're doing. So we're invoking, like we do at every meeting, we have "In God We Trust" as our motto, and that's our country's motto. It's on our money. It's everywhere you see in Washington, and we believe in it too. So when we invoke God's presence in what we do, we're asking for His wisdom and guidance. So let's bow our heads and ask His blessing. Father in heaven, we thank you for this great group of young men and young women who have dedicated their lives to being better citizens and better people for your service, for our community. We ask for your blessings upon them and all that they do. In Jesus' name, amen. And now the pledge of allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. And then I just read this part.
Ask Madam Clerk, are there any additions to the agenda? Madam Clerk.
Madam Clerk, are there any additions to the agenda?
No, Mr. Chairman, there are no additions.
This time we'll have public comment.
At this time, we'll have public comment.
Public comment. The first 15 minutes of each regular session are set aside for members of the public to address the board on any matter under the jurisdiction of the board, but not appearing on the agenda. The board will not take action on any items presented under public comment. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Anyone addressing the board is asked to print their name clearly on the speaker sheet at the podium and state their name and county of residence for the record.
Is there anyone who would like to speak to the board?
Surely there's someone who wants to make a public
I'll
comment.
say something.
It would be a first if we didn't have public comment.
Hello, gentlemen and ladies. I'm Tom Wheeler from North Fork, and I just wanted to complain to some of our staff for not fixing my roads up there. And I want you guys to really know about it so that you can talk to your people that works under you and tell them to fix our roads. Would you do that? You guys can't comment, but put me a thumbs up if you'll help me. Thank you. Bobby, you got something you want to say?
Excuse me?
This is your chance to gripe all you want.
And you can't gripe about me.
You don't gripe up. That's what they said in Saving Private Ryan. I think that's what it was. Bobby McCauley, Ahwahnee, California. And I just wanted to say how grateful I am to be a part of this Civics Day. I think you guys are all great young adults, and I think you're going to have some bright futures ahead of you. So thank you all for coming and joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else for comment?
Hearing none, we'll close public comments.
And then we'll close public comments.
And we'll go to the agenda for regular items. Item 4A.
You got to kind of read it. See what
Now to the regular items on the agenda. Item 4A, Madam Clerk.
4A, Behavioral Health Services, presentation of a proclamation declaring drugs are bad, do not use drugs, and recognition that the Boy Scouts of America, Thunderbird District, are in leadership role to get the message out to all the kids. Whereas there are different types of drugs that can affect your body in a bad way, and whereas these drugs mess with your brain and keep you from learning or staying in control, and whereas these bad drugs can cause you to behave in totally gnarly ways, like get into fights and lead out of control selfies, a social media post, and whereas drugs do not solve any problems but can make them worse, especially with your parents. And whereas while under the influence, you could say something you'll regret to your best friend and then they'll never speak to you again. And whereas it is important not to use drugs, instead to keep all your brain cells in your body healthy. And whereas local scouts are leaders and thereby role models in our schools and community and pledge to spread this message and not use drugs. Now therefore, the Board of Supervisors of Madera County and the Boy Scouts of America, Thunderbird District, do hereby proclaim that drugs are bad, do not use drugs. The Board of Supervisors call upon all young people, especially those in leadership role, to get the message out to all kids in the community that drugs are bad, do not use drugs.
Is there any comment from the board?
Okay, so somebody want to comment? Is there any public comment?
Madam Chairman, may I?
Thank you, supervisors. We are with Behavioral Health, and we want to thank you for having us here, giving us an opportunity to share with you that drugs are bad and do not use drugs, but also to share this message that you are leaders in our community, that people look up to you, your friends look up to you, and you have the ability to tell them and send this message that drugs are bad, and they are going to listen to you because you are in that leadership role. We also have a little bit more for you, so we have a little goodie bag for all of you on as our supervisors, and my coworker is going to tell you a little bit about what's in them.
Okay. So thank you guys for having us here. My name is Maricela, Behavioral Health. So part of being role models in the community is not just to tell, our friends and family that drugs are bad, but to kind of be that example to them all and practice those good skills that you need to do to keep yourself healthy and mentally healthy so you don't turn to drugs and alcohol. So what we got for you guys is a little kind of self-care bag. So we're going to have Hayel here and some of our other staff pass out this little self-care goodie bag for you guys. So inside of it, you'll have a little squishy brain. The squishy brain is for stress relief. So whenever you feel pressured or stressed, you can use that squishy brain to kind of squeeze out your stress. There's a pencil in there, and the pencil is for journaling. So if you have a friend that's having a hard time or a hard day, you can tell them, write down your thoughts on a piece of paper. And if they don't have a pencil, there you go. There's a pencil for you to get them. And there's some other information there about, our services and a couple of information on what drugs and alcohol can do to your brain and your body.
So just a reminder that if you know of anybody who could use any of our services, we also have a magnet that we included in there, and it has our phone number and our information. So you can always help them, direct them to our services, and you let them know that there is help out there and people can get better. And that's it. Any questions?
No.
Any questions?
Will the board please come down for a pic? Oh, yeah.
So
Supervisor Wheeler?
Thank you.
The paintings on the bags are really nice. Who painted them?
I can't get away yet, see?
That's a great question. So again, part of our self-care as well as professionals and in behavioral health, we get to do some fun stuff too when we don't have, when we have some downtime. So our community service liaison back there, Jael, raise your hand. She is our artist. So she really invested some time into these packages for you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Supervisor Frater?
I like them. They're very nice.
Thank you. I'm glad you like them. And again, use those little squishy brains whenever you're feeling a little stress. It's part of that self-care and being able to relax and chill in a good, positive, healthy way.
Will the board please come down for a picture?
Come on down, board. We're going to take a picture down there. Take a picture. Exactly what we did.
Yeah.
That's for you. Yeah, you had it, too. That's for you. Put on your wall.
Great job. Great job. You guys are making me believe you're really it.
Yeah. Next supervisors in training.
Okay.
Item 4B, Madam Clerk.
4B, Board of Equalization Assessment Appeals Board, hearing from I'm a taxpayer on Assessment Appeals number 12123.
Will you please state your name?
Yes. Good evening, Madam Board Chair. Chair and board members. I'm Brian Glover with the Madera County Assessor's Office. I'll present to you an appeal hearing we have where one Miss I'm a Taxpayer has recently constructed a new house and has a disagreement with the value we've assessed it for.
Is that yours? Because there's two.
So I put together a slideshow. If we could have that transmitted to your screens there. And this is a fairly simple case where a residence was completed in October of 2019. We're required to value it for property tax purposes. The receipts of that will pay for things like public education, public safety, and the owner disagreed with the value we assessed it for. We have a number of comps that show that the value we chose fits within the range. And one particular comp of note is sale number 3. That sale was sold without wiring and plumbing. It was stripped, and that approximates the value that the taxpayer is asking for. We have 2 other sales. Sale 1 sold in August of last year for $234,000. It is a little bigger than the subject. And sale number 2 is located at 319 North Wheeler Boulevard. The neighborhood's a little run down, but everybody has a big fancy truck. So that particular property sold for $215,000, and it is the only painted house on the street. After we completed our valuation, the contractor that built it was apparently not happy with the treatment he got from the owner, and a nosy neighbor has come together and provided some more documentation of what the inside of the house actually looks like. So the front of the residence is a fairly plain, typical house, but some things, oftentimes things aren't always what they appear. Sorry. The laundry room and master bedroom are obviously of nice quality. The living room is very nice. It wasn't on the permits, but it apparently also has an indoor swimming pool. And the piece de resistance, the one that really is kind of the talk of our office anyway, is the bathroom. In closing, we would respectfully ask that you, at minimum, uphold our value. We feel that we've been more than reasonable, especially based on the information that's come to us recently. And we think we have a pretty good case, and our expensive lawyers also think we have a good case, and they're looking for something to do in court. And we would also like to remind you, board members, that it is still not too late to, you have the opportunity to raise the value in this case. And it's still not too late to have a coffee shop put in on the build-out of the 3rd floor. We would respectfully ask your consideration to find for the assessor's office in this matter.
Okay, ask if there is any public comment on this.
Do you have any questions?
Ask us if you have one question. Supervisor Wheeler.
Yes, Supervisor Miller?
You'll say what? How much value? Oh, you said Wheeler. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're talking about it. They've been using that.
Got all the time in the world.
Competition or written or anything like that. So
Ask if they
rent the house out for Airbnb or something like that.
Did they get the golden toilet from the assessor's office?
No, unfortunately. They wouldn't tell us the total cost of the house, so we really don't know where they got it from.
Are they living in or using it for Airbnb? Okay, he's ready now.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yeah.
Are they living in or using the house for Airbnb?
I believe they're living in it. I think that'd be in a pretty expensive house to build just to rent out.
Except they will make the money from it.
Right. That's Supervisor Porteous.
Does the property have solar?
Supervisor Porteous?
We didn't notice any solar panels, but for property tax purposes, interestingly enough, solar panels are exempt to the first owner. So even if they had solar panels on it, we couldn't raise the value for that.
Supervisor Fraser?
Go ahead. Supervisor Fletcher.
How deep is the pool?
I don't know. We haven't been allowed inside. So. It doesn't look like it'd be something I'd want to dive headlong into, though.
Supervisor Fraser? What's your question? Oh.
Okay, Supervisor McCandless.
Supervisor,
Oh,
Mc-
no, I asked her
Su-
CAO.
Supervisor McCandless?
CAO McCandless.
Why does it look bigger on the inside than it does in the outside?
It's really long. It goes back from the road quite a ways.
Okay, that makes sense.
County Council.
County Councilor Regina Garza?
Do you have a basement there?
We don't show a basement on the plans, but a lot of the things in the pictures weren't on the plans either. So.
Is the property Supervisor Rodriguez? Is the property value affected by any nearby roundabouts?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I don't believe so, but we'll have to go back and check our comparables to make sure they also aren't affected by roundabouts.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Where'd you get the pictures?
The disgruntled contractor and a nosy neighbor.
How do you know that they didn't just take pictures from online, though?
Well, they seemed really honest.
Yeah, sure.
Good question. Yeah, it is a good question. Okay, now ask if there's any public comment.
Could
on
be
this.
iffy.
Any public comment?
Is there any public comment?
Hearing none, I will bring it, Hearing none, I will bring it back to the board. What is your pleasure? Oh, we have one? We have one public comment. State your name.
You sure know a lot about our system for being from the public.
Please state your name.
Please state your name.
So I'm not public comment. I'm sorry, I'm just so nervous. I am a taxpayer at 1234 Anywho Drive from Apica City, California. Now, I'm here to explain to you all that while I really admire and have such great respect for Mr. Glover here, I do disagree with what he's trying to tell you. So, with his help, I also have some photos for you to take a look at. Now, these photos are not from some sketchy, disgruntled contractor. Mine are from Yosemite Sasquatch. Now, he lives on the same street that I do, and as you know, Mr. Glover showed you the picture of the front of my house. Well, this is Yosemite's house, and it looks very, very similar. Now, my notes here. There we go. Okay. So, when I bought this property, my property, let me go back. So when I bought my property, I bought it for $50,000, and then I did like $100,000 worth of repairs and improvements. So I feel that like at the most, it should be assessed at $150,000. So I went and I talked to Yosemite. Now that's his house. Now he bought his house for $100,000, and he put $50,000 worth of improvements in it, and he's only assessed at $180,000. Now he came from San Francisco, so he said that that this was a good deal. It's the way things are. But just in comparison, here's his dining room and kitchen as well. And then this is his laundry room and his master bedroom, very comparable, I would say. And then his living room, you're not going to believe this guy's from San Francisco, but there's his shooting range right there in his living room.
Whoa. That's a nice shooting range. That's a nice shooting range.
And then he too has a swimming pool. Now, whether he got the proper permits, I don't know. But anyway, he's got a nice pool. And he has more than just a golden toilet. He's got a golden bathroom. So, yes, sir. So what I did, because I know that you can go out and get a realtor's opinion, so I went out and I got a hold of a respected realtor. And here's his proof that as a respected realtor, in his opinion, which he thinks is very valuable, and he's best friends with Yosemite, he can verify that the house at 555 Wheeler Way was purchased for 180, and the value should really be 180,000. And so there he is, saying that his statement is true, with a picture of his statement with his letter right there. So, in closing, go Howard Jarvis. I just want to ask that you would reconsider what the assessor's office is telling you and kind of bring it down to fairness. Do you really need a coffee shop in the lobby with my tax dollars? Thank you very much.
Is there any further public to address us?
Excuse me?
Is there any further public to address us?
If not, I'll close the public hearing.
Wait.
Close the public hearing and gavel it, yeah.
Then I'll close the public hearing.
Very good. And bring it back to the board. CAO McCandless.
CAO McCandless?
How hot does the jacuzzi get?
How many does it fit?
No. How hot does it
Hot?
get?
You know what? When you start drinking wine, like you're not supposed to do, you really don't pay attention to how hot it gets. So I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for you.
I have a quick question. So, on the value, what about because the chairing, the flooring, and all of that is different. It might be different because of the stuff inside might cause it to be a different value.
So what I was saying is what the assessor showed and what I showed, I thought that was pretty comparable, and I don't think I should be taxed more than Yosemite is. Right? Because his living room looks just as nice as mine, and I think actually his swimming pool looks better than mine.
Yeah. Were they purchased at the same time, though?
No, his is newer.
So that could also cause the difference.
Right, so his should be more than mine, not less than mine.
Not necessarily. If property taxes end up going down, then his would be cheaper, a bit less expensive.
Well, thank you for that.
I think Coach her on that. That's pretty good. She's got it. She figured it out.
No, my dad actually taught me about this kind of thing. You have to think about
man.
property values.
Right, kid? She should be up here instead of us.
Yeah. So far, Dave, she's doing better than you.
I think so. Okay,
Supervisor Wheeler?
How much did he actually spend on the house to get all that stuff?
The Yosemite, I only have like the total dollar amount that I gave you here. As far as what I spent, I brought all my documentation here for mine.
Are you sure he was telling the truth?
I believe him just as much as you all might believe the photos from the sketchy contractor.
Supervisor Poitras?
What's the total square footage on both?
I believe they're both about 2,400 square feet.
Then wouldn't one have more stuff inside than the other one did? If they had the same amount, but one was looked on the outside 2 feet tall. 1 story tall, and the other one had 2 stories.
Well, it'd be a smaller footprint, so there'd be less concrete.
Supervisor Wheeler?
The house was only about 2 stories, but when we got to the picture of the indoor pool, it looked to be about 3 stories.
True. Yeah.
So
So you're saying that the Amish taxpayers looks higher, 3 stories, and
I'm saying those pictures are sketchy.
True.
Wow, you can't pull the wool over these kids.
Can you bring the indoor pool picture back up on the screen?
Good observations.
Have you reviewed all of your receipts?
Tell Supervisor Rodriguez he's speaking out of turn.
Who is responsible for the
Speaking out of turn.
I just saw Fraser up there.
Supervisor,
Force of habit,
Supervisor Fraser?
Who is responsible for naming the street Wheeler Way? Does the name affect the property's value?
I'll defer to the assessor.
That house is 45
You know, for valuation, we look to other sales in the area, and there does seem to be a value difference specifically on Wheeler Way.
We still need to get the picture of the pool. I still haven't got the answer to my question.
Madam Clerk, could you come help us?
Supervisor
Rodriguez still hasn't got the answer to his question.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Another picture that seems sketchy. You said that in his master bedroom he had his own shooting range, but in the picture of his master bedroom there was no doors similar to the one in the shooting range.
So it was the living room is the shooting range?
Yeah, remember the living room? Well, but why would the shooting range be so close to the living room? You'd also have to think about hearing and eye protection. Wouldn't that be unsafe?
That would be a question for Yosemite Sasquatch. I'm sorry, I can't speak for him on that.
CAO mechanics?
I'm sorry, we're still messing with the picture.
So, if you had a neighbor that had a dog, how long would you stay up until midnight if the dog was still barking?
Oh, so you think like my shooting range would keep the dog up barking on that? Or Yosemite shooting range?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Probably.
Yeah, because it might make the dog worried about what's going on outside, and most dogs are actually pack-oriented, so they would be worried about their family.
So is my understanding from Yosemite, he's a dog lover, and so his shooting range is very, 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 very well insulated to avoid any of that noise bothering any of those precious little doggies.
But it's so close to the living room, wouldn't that entire, even the living room and anything going off of the living room, also have to make sure it's sound protected? But the dooring to get into the living room might also let sound through. So wouldn't that also have to be considered when it comes to that problem?
That would be something that, it should be considered, and I'll reach out to Yosemite and let them know that. Then I'll let the assessors know that he's increasing the value of his house.
One thing to keep in mind, it is Wheeler Way, so I think gunshots are probably a normal occurrence.
We're starting to get into the weeds now, but we should get back to like the value prices, and we still need the picture of the pool.
It seems we're having technical difficulty. I don't know if you know, I've been trying to do sign language here with our clerk of the board. So we have it on our screen here, but it doesn't seem to be appearing on the screen. IT is on their way.
Anymore, but Supervisor Rodriguez would still like to have his question.
Okay, there
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Go ahead.
Has the assessor reviewed all of the receipts? Does it add up to 100,000?
Well, the receipts weren't provided to us before. This is the first chance I've had to see them, but let me take a...
And how do you know the receipts weren't forged?
Yeah, they look like they added up to the cost we put on the roll.
But how do you know they weren't forged?
Well, we have to take everybody, we're under oath here, so we have to take everybody at face value unless we can prove otherwise.
Just call for the questions. Just say that. That's Robert's rule of order.
What was the amount on the wall?
Prior to the roll, I believe it was the land value of about $50,000.
Go with our assessor's value.
And it adds up to 150.
We added for just the land, the assessed value was, I believe, about $50,000. When property is newly constructed, we have to add the value for only the new construction. So we added $220,000 for just the residence. The land value stays the same.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Is it illegal for the nosy neighbor to go inside and take pictures of someone else's property?
Well, we didn't ask him how she got them.
Do you think but the nosy neighbor, are you sure that they're entirely honest? And they're not just simply not and they're not just simply jealous?
Well, it's possible, but they seem pretty honest, like I said earlier.
Okay, so looking at the picture of the pool, it is 2-story. It's just because the high ceiling might have thrown you off on why it looked 3. But that is just...
Madam Chairman, Mr. Glover and I were just talking, and we think that we can probably negotiate a value so that we can come up with something that's fair if the board's agreeable to that.
County Councilor Rodriguez?
Okay, so the indoor pool is sketchy, like very sketchy, but it looks as if that the living room is right next to the indoor pool.
Yes, please explain that. Or is that just simply the kitchen and dining?
Well, I think we need to get my house up instead of Yosemite's house up, yeah.
Ask the county council if they have anything legal to contribute, otherwise leave the question to us.
Wait.
Say, ask them if they have anything legal to contribute.
If the receipts add up to,
Will the county council... Little order, please.
Call for the question. Say, I make a motion.
County council, please do not comment unless you have something legal to say. And don't see it. Rodriguez?
Okay, so precedent.
if the receipts add up to 2,200,000, I move that we accept the assessor's recommendation.
Get the second then. We'll do that.
Will someone second that?
You made the motion? Okay, and then hit the button.
Second.
Say your second. Say your second.
Let's vote.
He made the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Now do roll call.
Roll call vote.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Rodriguez?
Aye.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Aye.
Supervisor Frazier?
Aye.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Click that.
Okay, see what I do on that. See, I hit.
Vote passes 5-0.
It's a 5-0 vote that passed. 5-0 vote.
Next order of business, 4C. Madam Clerk, please bring that up.
Lake Health Department, presentations by students working against tobacco regarding smoke-free environments.
want to thank everybody for being here. I've got another meeting I've got to head up to, but
Let's give Supervisor Frazier a big hand. Thanks for being here, Brett.
Thank you for being here.
Okay, please, staff. Say, go ahead, staff.
Thank you, Brett.
Say it loud. Go ahead, staff.
Go ahead, staff.
Hi, my name is Annie Perez, and I'm a Students Working Against Tobacco Youth Coalition member, and I'm also a student athlete at Madera South High School.
Hello, my name is Miriam Escalera. I am part of Students Working Against Tobacco. I am also part of HOSA, which stands for Health Occupation Students of America.
Hello, my name is Jocelyn Hernandez. I am a student at Madera South High. I'm also a member of HOSA and of UC Scholars.
Hi, I'm Moises Gante. I'm a student from Madera South High School, and fun fact, I'm a 4.0 student.
So today we're here to talk to you about passing a smoke-free policy in the county of Madera. As an athlete, it's something that's very important to me because I often go out with my family to parks, and we play basketball. This is where we bond, we walk our dogs, and we do family things. You know, everybody has a family. This park is just a place to go. And we often see a lot of people smoking. And as a youth advocate and a student athlete, it's my decision not to incorporate those chemicals in my body. And when people are smoking, that exposes me to second and third hand smoke. And those chemicals go into my system without me knowing. And this is a big problem because that can affect my health and my performance. And another thing is I was also a lifeguard at the community pool. And within our facility, we don't allow smoking, but all it takes is for somebody to step out and they're able to light up a cigarette. And we can't say anything because they're no longer associated within our facility, and that exposes all the children that are just out trying to have fun with their families. So these are all things that can help benefit by this policy. And yeah.
Fun fact, over 1,500 cigarette butts were collected in parks across Madera County, which is a big concern since all it takes is really just one cigarette butt to kill or harm a child or an animal who doesn't really know what it is or like what it can do to them. And that's really concerning as well because 1 out of 6 kids in the Central Valley already has asthma. And in 2017 actually, 3,000 kids between the ages of 0 to 4 had an asthma attack and were taken to a hospital. And that's really concerning since our youth are our future, and them being affected by second or third hand smoke is really
Concerning.
And especially because a lot of the chemicals in cigarettes and vapes can cause cancer, and our youth are being affected by something that they're not even doing.
So smoking and vaping at the park may also create the illusion that using tobacco is normal. With 1 out of 4 high school students having used tobacco product, we as a community can try to prevent youth from using tobacco by creating safe smoke and vape-free recreational areas. So, as part of SWAT, we have dedicated a lot of time to educate our peers about dangers of tobacco, but we need Madera County's support because we need more voices to get this out.
And then here we have a few of the buds we collected in some of the parks within Madera County. And I'm pretty sure none of you would want to smell this, right? Because second and third hand smoke goes into your system. So as our representatives, why would you want the people in our community to be exposed to second and third hand smoke?
Okay, so we surveyed 115 residents in Madera County, and we discovered that almost 90% support a smoke and vape-free parks policy. So many communities like ours have adopted a smoke and vape-free parks policy to protect the health of their residents, and we asked for that here in Madera, a smoke-free parks policy.
And we'd like to thank you all for your time, and it's greatly appreciated.
Thank you for speaking with us, and this is an information item only, no action required. Yeah, and what is it? Protein. Oh. Supervisor Poitras?
Great presentation. What about smoking at golf courses? Golf courses?
That's included within the policy.
Thank you.
County Councilor Regina Garza? Can you please give me a couple of examples of where you would put this policy at?
This policy would be throughout all of Madera County, which is including Chowchilla. So it includes youth-sensitive areas, parks, bike trails, things like that.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Wheeler?
Great presentation. Does that include eastern Madera and in the mountains?
Yes.
It does?
Yes,
For
it
sure?
does.
Okay.
CAO McCandless?
What makes your responsibility want to make no cigarettes in Madera County anymore?
Well, for me, personal experience, cigarette butts, this is how much we've collected over the parks. And seeing that children walk around youth areas and just have fun, sometimes when they pick it up, they might not know what it is. And you know, when children or toddlers are small, they like to put everything in their mouth. And that could be very harmful to them. Plus, the chemicals they smoke will affect a lot of the kids.
Also, as youth, we feel it's our responsibility and duties to help educate our peers to make sure they're aware of the things they're putting inside their systems.
Thank you. County Councilor DiNardi? Supervisor Frazier?
Are there any organizations opposed to this policy?
No, we have a lot of support within the community, and we haven't really found anyone who's against it.
Supervisor Poitras?
What do we do if we catch someone with a cigarette in the park?
We would like that we, as a citizen member, that you kindly ask them to put it out, but it's the enforcement of, try to enforce the policy within your peers. But if needed, there will be a fine.
Boy Scout.
County Councilor Regina Rodriguez? Do you expect to take this farther than just Madera?
Of course.
I have a question. What about places that don't have a problem with cigarettes? What about, and it's very rare to ever find cigarettes in their parks. What about those counties or places?
Well, those counties should have their own people conduct a lot of surveys to see if it is a problem within the community, and if it is in a different sense, then they should find the best solution for them.
What about different towns, though? Just individual towns, though. What if certain towns do want it, but the county chooses? What about the county? If the county doesn't have a problem with the town?
They can pass the policy within their city.
Okay. If there's no more questions, is there any public comment?
Hearing none, bring it back to the board. What's your pleasure? So ask the board, would you like to direct staff to bring us back something?
Put you on the spot.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm the president of the National American Cancer Society, and these young people have been speaking to a lot of residents in Madera County, and even smokers support this policy. So even people who do smoke agree that we shouldn't be smoking around non-smokers, around kids, around families. Parks are intended to be places that are healthy, that are safe for our communities. And it's good to have youth leaders like yourselves and the SWAT Youth Coalition to educate the community about why this is a problem and work together to try to pass the best policy to support the health of our residents. And They have talked to a lot of residents in Madera County. Even people who smoke are behind this. So hopefully you all are able to make the best decision, the informed decision to protect Madera County residents.
Please, will you please give us your name?
Graciela Valdez.
Thank you. Supervisor Wheeler?
How long has SWAT been a thing?
For about 2 years. We started in the summer of 2018.
CO McCandless?
What if you get cancer even though you don't smoke?
Of course, but we found it's a cause and effect relationship between smoking and cancer.
County Councilor Gina Rodriguez? Garza?
So, how do you expect to make sure that people don't try to smoke behind people's backs, such as Madera?
How to enforce the policy?
Yeah, basically.
We can put up signs and do interviews and hold press conferences to educate the public on the policy that has just been passed.
And all of this would actually be a good cultural change. And what about, what about people just standing, like, just outside the park if they're smoking? Because technically they wouldn't be in the park. What about them?
It would still be around the park, and what we're trying to enforce is that they don't smoke around youth-sensitive areas.
Public comment?
Hi, my name is Jasmine Gallegos, and I'm the director of First Five, and I just want to say that I support this policy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Robin Siminoff, and I am a mom, and I just moved here from San Diego about 2 years ago, where we have smoke-free parks everywhere, and I was expecting to have smoke-free parks when I moved here, and I brought my kids to the park and was really sad that it wasn't smoke-free parks. In fact, my boxer, who eats everything, my puppy, ate a bunch of cigarette butts and got sick. So that being said, I think there is a huge problem here. I think it's something that a bunch of other cities, towns, counties have done, and I think it's time for the Central Valley, which I'm very excited to live in now, to get up to that speed and take care of our youth and our animals. Thank you.
Is your dog okay now?
He's fine.
Okay.
He's fitting right up.
Is there any more comment on this item?
Hearing none, we direct staff to bring back a proposal of a resolution. Hearing none, you direct staff to bring back a resolution.
Hearing that, so let's bring staff back to brings back a resolution.
Asking for a thumbs up?
That's for the thumbs up?
You want to do a motion to approve it?
She was doing it by consensus.
Oh.
Yeah. Have staff bring back a resolution since it's an informational item only.
Okay, I see now.
Okay, so now, let's see, let's go to.
Good job.
Good job.
Thank you.
We'll suspend the meeting for just a second, and I'd like to ask if you would kind of do the same presentation before the Board of Supervisors sitting in regular session. Would you do that?
Of course.
We'd love to have it, and we'd love to make that a
I
consideration.
should say, maybe have them bring it in consideration to make it a motion, ordinance.
I
We'd like
think
to have an
so.
ordinance like that.
I definitely think so, and I told our public health director that I supported curbing the use of vape products, period, in the county, even vape shops. I think that it's warranted at this point due to what's going on with the national health. Anyway, I don't want to disturb this meeting with that, and I think that's a great thought. So anyway, you're going to move now to pending legislation. Is there any pending legislation?
Is there any pending legislation?
We would like him to bring it back so we could make an ordinance out of this. That's pending legislation. Say, we would like to bring this back. There's no smoking deal or ordinance for the county.
We would like to bring back the no smoking ordinance for
For us to approve or not approve.
for us to approve or not approve.
That's pending legislation, see, that's what you do.
Staff is so
That way, see, that way our staff then will bring that back to us.
Staff is so directed.
Okay, so, let's see. Probably need a consensus on that, or a motion.
So you just gave board direction, correct?
Right.
Right, so you can just do, just like you did before, a thumbs up,
Yeah.
you know. And then it would be the agenda process through the chairman to make sure that gets back on the agenda.
This is where county council would probably correct us sometimes.
Yeah.
We'll look to her to make sure she's telling us the right thing. So, yeah, all we need is consensus, because this is agendized as informational only, so there's no
Well, that's the reason I
action.
did it under pending legislation, see.
Right, okay, yeah, you can do that.
That's what we did, that was
Right.
pending legislation was on, right?
Right.
And so we brought it up, said, bring it back as
There
legislation.
you go, there you go.
Brings back the-
Thumbs up?
So
Thumbs up. So thumbs up.
Okay, all right. Supervisor and staff reports.
Supervisor and staff reports.
Ask for Supervisor Rodriguez.
Supervisor Rodriguez.
Do you have any?
He's about to go to sleep down there.
Thank you for today, and what was your favorite part of today?
Say what was your favorite part? What did you like about today?
I like best about sitting in the show and talking.
Say both for Lenny and
Vote for
Okay, Supervisor, that would be Frazier?
Supervisor Frazier.
Thank you, and I like the speech.
Supervisor Fortress.
Supervisor Portress.
Thank you for today, and my favorite part was the cake.
Supervisor Wheeler.
I came a long way for this presentation, and, well, yeah.
To staff.
I appreciate the staff for helping through it.
This was a really fun speech. Thank you. I like just what people have to say, and mainly about, I guess, deciding whether or not something goes through. Thank you.
Clerk of the board.
I just thank everyone for being here today. I mean, it's just awesome to see all the young people here and your participation and your knowledge and just being so quick study. So it's been just a fantastic, fun day. Thank you so much for being here.
And thank you for coming and giving us your presentation. It's very interesting.
We're going to do that. We'll have a picture with everybody that participated, even the group that gave us the presentation on the smoking, and that was very, very good. I just want to say, each one of you are very, very bright. You're very plugged into what's going on in your community. I want to encourage you to stay that way. Don't be discouraged just because something doesn't happen right away or something hinders the progress that you'd like to see in your community. Sometimes it takes years to affect change, but you are bright enough and strong enough together to make things happen. And I'm so proud that you're here today. We're proud of you for being here today, and we're honored to be with you in this room and share this moment with you. And thank you for doing this with us. Okay? Thank you. And let's come down and have the picture.
It wasn't really that far.
Oh,
he just told me to say it.
That's funny.
Ranchers.
Oh, that's not
As the printer. As the printer. Even a mic. It's on.
You guys go up front. You and back here are hard ones to show up back there. They do, yeah. Right there, he was, okay, I just want to make sure I see everybody's faces. Don't want anybody tucked away or hidden back there. You're blocked back there with, there you go.
This is supposed to end at 4, right? It's not even 3.
As the printer. Hello. My name is Jeffrey. Wait. Go on, Mike. I was for